Get started. We're officially opening up our open mic and getting into the celebration of Black Wall Street and all things black. I don't believe Black history is a month. Black history is a moment, and we get a chance to make that. And real quick, I want to get a vibe of where everybody's from. Where y'all from? Who's in the building?
DeSoto!
We got DeSoto in the building. Okay, where were you born at? What's on your birth certificate?
Arkansas!
Okay, Arkansas is good. You said what is that? Texas. Okay, you know Texas is big. I don't know if you know that. All right, who else in the building? Where y'all from? Dallas. Okay, Dallas County or Dallas City? Already. We know the difference, right? You already know. All right, Dallas in the building. Arkansas in the building. Who else? Oak Cliff. That's my hood. Put it in his face. Get it what? Hey, this ain't what you want, boy. There we get hood. Cause Oak Cliff, yeah. That's my hood. All right. Okay, we got a hood in the building. Where you from?
504.
The 504. Everybody say, hey, baby.
Hey, baby.
My best friends are from Louisiana, so I did it. I appreciate that. Well, if y'all could have been anywhere else in the world, I'm glad y'all are here with us. I am Derek Walker, a.k.a. I am D-Walk. The I am is I affirm me, because that's what I believe I should be doing, and I reflect the vision of you into yourself. We illuminate our ideas of where prosperity and wealth should be, could be, in the moments that we choose. So we normally do this open mic, call it R&B, poetry, and poetically speaking. And I just want to kind of get y'all an introduction of where we are. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I love to do this piece. It's called Deeper Than Roots. And I love to take poetry and put it to music, and that creates a what? A vibe, it's a song. So I'm going to kind of create something with that. Can we vibe tonight?
Yeah!
I got the band over here. Y'all give a big round of applause to A1 Music Band. I need a real shot on the 2 and the 4 for my city. That's the 214. Hey, I need a real shot on the 2 and the 4 for the what? I need a real shot on the 2 and the 4 for my city. That's the 214. Hey, need a real shot on the 2 and the 4 for my city. That's the 214. Hey, go deeper. I said the deeper the root, the sweeter the fruit. The matter in this world go deeper than you. The deeper the root, the sweeter the fruit. Nobody in this world goes deeper. The deeper the root, the sweeter the fruit. Past, present, future, nothing goes deeper than you. This moment is deeper than truth. Black souls on black soul, black souls from black folks down deep on hell. We the people of a freedom town with the southern drawl is where developers found. Southern intellect, only Texas' first black architect could erect a monument that even if they lost it, I forget. But if you didn't know, now you know. I'm talking about the first black high school in Dallas, Booker T. Washington. William Sidney Pittman designed this building just up the street on Elm. This is black history, black presence, black future, and even your presence here today. There's nothing deeper than Elm, just like there's nothing deeper than you. There's nothing deeper than Elm, just like there's nothing deeper than truth. 214 is the original area code for Dallas, and I love to believe that it's represented in every song because you got a 2 and a 4. And every song that you hear, in every groove that you feel, no matter you take it, make the deal. I'ma say deeper, 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 deeper. So I sing it, say it. Deeper, 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 deeper. Whoa, deeper, 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 deeper. I said deeper, 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 deeper. Here's a song. The deeper the root, the sweeter the fruit. Nobody in this world goes deeper than you. Deeper the root, the sweeter the fruit. Nobody in this world goes deeper than you. Deeper than true. Nobody in this world goes deeper, deeper. Nobody in this world singing with me one more time. Say, deeper, 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 sing it. I said, deeper, 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 deeper. Whoa, the sweet the groove. Nobody in this, I said, deeper the groove, sweet the groove. Nobody. Y'all give me yourself one time.
We're a real estate company. We just opened a title company here in DeSoto. We're located at 220 East Pleasant Run Road. Tomorrow we have an event where we're serving ice cream between 12 p.m. and 4 p.m. Just to celebrate home ownership. Home ownership month is this month. So basically we're celebrating homeowners, people who want to be homeowners and things like that. Again, I'm with the Hughes Group Real Estate Services. We can be located on Facebook at The Real Estate Hughes Group Services.
Okay. The business I would like to introduce you guys today is Can We Talk Sports? Can We Talk Sports is the first sports mom talk show. And what we do is we help parents who are having challenges to navigate their kids through the sports journey. Because y'all know there's a lot of things going on in sports. These kids get paid now. So the parents need to educate themselves on what is going on. And so we do that in the form of entertainment through the talk show, as well as we have a sports mom conference. We're writing a book. We're doing everything. The voices of mamas are coming out. There's no more them wives and them mistresses. The mama's voice is powerful now. So that is Can We Talk Sports, the first sports mom conference. First sports mom talk show.
All right. I don't like speaking in public. Imagine that. So what I like to do is engage people so that I'm not by myself. So if I pass out, I need to know who's going to come help me and get up. Okay?
I got you.
My one loyal friend there and over there, they'll come and pick me up. But in between time, this is an opportunity to pitch your business. I will show you how it's done. And then I'm going to throw the ball to somebody and they look like, please don't do me. But I'm going to throw the pitch to somebody and then they'll come up and they'll do their pitch, okay? It's done like this. My name is Dr. Janice Little with the Graduates Gift LLC. We are a real estate management company that supports graduates. How do we support graduates? We give them access to resources that generate income where they learn and earn at the same time. They learn AI technology, they learn to trade like the banks, and they learn digital marketing. They can start making money as soon as they come into our community. I am Dr. Janice Little, Graduates Gift LLC. Now, I'm about to pitch to my new friend over here. My new friend. Don't be looking like you don't know my friend, girl. Come on up here, do what you do. Here she go, come on.
I'm Jay Mickey, and we are the A1 music band all the way from H-Town, Houston, Texas. All right, we enjoyed our time with you all. And if y'all want to, if y'all enjoy any of the music, go ahead. Y'all go ahead and give us a tip in this tip jar right here. I'm going to just set it right here by this jingle right here. All right? And,
Hey, do
thank you all.
you have a virtual tip?
We have a business card over here. So
QR code to
so
tip
QR code, drop the cash out, Chosen Cuts. All right? Chosen Cuts. All right? Chosen, CHOSEN, KUTZ, Cuts. Chosen Cuts. All right? You can set that right there.
All right.
I like to talk. I like dance. I love being an artist. My name is Cynthia Downs, and I am the owner of One Global Venture. We have lots of other activities under that. One is the entrepreneurial social worker. Now, even though we say entrepreneurial social worker, it is about anyone who wants to elevate their game, who have lots of skills from their own career and want to know how to pivot that into their own business. So for instance, you're working for someone and you want to become an independent business owner, we show you how to do that. Or you're working in a field like social work, nursing, any other healthy professionals, and you want to elevate to something different. I'll give you an example. I have 2 degrees in social work, 1 MBA. I have worked in social work, but I pivot and I work in a corporate environment. And one of the corporate environments I've worked in is high tech, and another one is a female forward tech company where we get women involved in AI, full stop. So anyone looking to pivot their game, elevate their game, Cynthia Downs. Thank you.
She has a name.
There you go. Tammy.
All right.
You didn't know her name. I said your name.
She did say your name. Okay, I'm gonna throw that you came to support.
Yes.
Everyone, my name is Cece Moreland, and believe it or not, I sell money. I'm a licensed financial educator, and it's important to me that we educate people about the importance of financial literacy. I can turn $2 into a $4 and $4 into an $8. There's a such thing as an index universal life policy. So I have some cards here. Like I say, CC Moreland, I sell money. I sell money, boo. I'm a licensed financial educator, and I'm bringing cards to everybody.
All right.
And I give it to this young man.
Hi, Felicia. And I just,
What do you do?
I just do.
All right.
You play a mean bass, or is that a guitar?
What's that?
I do play a mean bass, yeah.
Player. Yes. Awesome. So tell people how they can reach you if they want to use your service.
Great. All right.
All right.
We got you.
Yeah. I should always thank you for this because, people do contact me for work.
So they
Yes.
can use your service.
All right, I can be contacted, phone number as well as an email. Just like a talking business to it. Phone number is 708-689-9820. My assistant will collect the information and pass that on. And through email, drcam_on_base@outlook.com. That's BICAM_OE_BASS@outlook.com. Or you just ask anybody and use like, hey, is there a lady place space? It's only about 5 of those.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
I won't even bother dealing with that. So my name is Kevin Hamilton.
Hey, Calvin.
All right. Good evening. Good to meet all of y'all and be here with y'all this evening. So I'm a teacher full time. History is my thing. All right. But I recently formed a travel company. It's called Travel Deck Tours. And I was fortunate just this past weekend to bring a group of 40 up to Black Wall Street.
Wow.
All right? We're all about history. All right? We cannot rely on our institutions
Yes.
to hand out the information like we've been accustomed to previously. I'm talking about our schools.
Yeah.
We're not teaching the information that we're supposed to teach people. I'm just throwing that out there. All right? So I have another trip coming up where we're taking folks up to the National Museum of Civil Rights in Memphis, Tennessee to expand, to grow, to educate, and I'm willing to hand out some business cards for anybody that's interested.
Yeah.
I got you. Thank you. Angel.
All right.
Right.
All right.
I'm a licensed clinical social worker in the state
Yeah,
of
I was so sure
We are too. Okay, yes, in Maryland, DC, and Texas. So my business is based
Maryland. I'm new to Texas. However, I represent Perfected Promise when we declare strength over struggle. And we always give space and grace. So that is my business. I am licensed in Texas, so you can reach me at perfectedpromise.com. Thank you for the opportunity. All right.
I don't even know what to say.
My name is Angel Brantley. How y'all beautiful people doing? Y'all look so nice. Look, thank you for coming out tonight. I am the owner of That's So Angel, THATSSEWANGEL. You can call me Angel. I'm a hairstylist based out of Plano, Texas. So I'm on 75 and Parker. This is my hair. So I do hair growth. If you need treatments, you need to be conditioned. You want your braid down for your wig. If you need a custom wig, I do tape-ins, extensions, K-tips, I-tips, all of the in between. I love children, but please don't bring your kids. Turn it up. So don't come and take your braids on us. I don't braid. So I take care of my ladies' hair. We do therapy sessions as well every now and then. Have a little wine, all depending what you need.
Yes.
So I love my ladies and I love what I do. And I want us to be better with our hair. It's shocking how many women I meet and they don't know what to do with their hair. Hair toe up, it's dry, fall. Girl, what we doing?
That's me.
So, so I do have cards. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. So if you or someone that you know needs me, hit me up.
I'm Space Boy Fresh, 97 on the beat. I do marketing, promotion, I DJ, I host, I do audio engineering, photography, videography. If you need any of those multimedia things or any of y'all businesses, I'll let you know. And I will be DJing here shortly after. So stick around, some R&B and poetry tonight.
All right. Hey.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so my name is Lindsay. I am an educator too. Also, yes, I teach kindergarten. I'm also a photographer. And I also work closely with two nonprofit foundations that work with children. So one I work with that's out of South Dallas is Mill City Teaching Farm. There we teach children about agriculture, how to grow plants, about mulch. Lots of work with being in the garden. I think that's very important that our children learn how to be self-sustainable. That is very, very important. And also Stars United Global Outreach, where we also teach financial literacy to children ages 10 to 18. Awesome. So that's what I do. I hadn't planned on coming up here and introducing myself, but hey!
What am I talking about?
You and about your business and how they can find you.
Hi everybody, my name is Epiphany. I own a restaurant. It's a restaurant y'all sitting in right now on Good Espresso. I appreciate y'all coming. If y'all your first time, I hope it's not your last time. We want to see you again. I don't know what to talk about, so I'm going to tell you what we got going on. Every Tuesday, we got $2 tacos. We got $2 shots till 7 p.m. Wednesday, we do a paint sip once a month, and we do $1 wings. Thursday, you're here at the Best Poetry Night in Dallas, Texas. Friday, we do a happy hour for all adults, 5 to 10, and then we do like a game night, pajama party afterwards. Saturday, Sundays, brunch from 11 to 4. Saturday night is ladies' night, and then Sunday, we do like a Sunday dinner with everybody.
Education is less about the system and more about how we share information. Learning doesn't start in the classroom, it doesn't end at home, right? But also when we talk about education and information, we have to understand that data is an important part of that. As we plan what goes forward, we have to be willing to look at what has already happened. That's well-informed people, well-informed communities, and well-informed understanding of what the options are. And so in our conversation with Black Wall Street 1, become a member as soon as you can. One thing we do is meet every Saturday, 9 a.m. on a virtual call just to have community and be in space and to just share ideas about what's happening. I like to consider that my underground railroad, if you understand what I mean. I don't think everything has to have a lot of people when you have the correct people. And I know that we are in a space where a lot don't mean better and few don't mean it's not good. So one, encourage you to become a member. And the other part of that is having this dialogue about how do we introduce this history? Where did our history start? And this think tank is just an open come back and forth about what the options are, how it relates. Yesterday we had a we had a IG Live, and I just kind of shared some perspective. So I'll just start. There's this opinion that I started as a slave. I didn't. I don't believe that. Were my people historically enslaved? Yes, but the slave is not who I am or who we are described as. We are humans, right? And so how do we and where do we start with our history? And my pedagogy is that we start with our family. We look at our family and say, what did your parents do? What did your cousins do? What did your grandparents do? What did your aunts and uncles do? Start there so that the context is not centered on a history and a belief that is filled with trauma, violence, and abuse. Because what ends up happening, you become triggered by that and you have to overcome that. Only unhealed people are not triggered. The unhealed people are the only people who are triggered. Let me say it again. Only the unhealed are triggered. If we start our history at violence, we're always going to have to overcome that, and violence is always going to become an option. I don't think capitalism is inherently bad. It's bad when violence is introduced. It's bad when fraud is introduced. It's bad when manipulation is introduced and abuse is introduced. So we just want to have an open dialogue about where our history starts and how do we start to share and how do we kind of move together as a people, as a community, and as people in America today.
I have something to say.
I'm listening.
I know for me, when I look at those movies and we're, them being betrayed as being enslaved and beaten and that touches my heart. That does bring anger. But I'm not those. I can't even, first of all, I can't even imagine that kind of stuff being done, but it did happen. But I don't let that stop me from having white friends and doing business. And so I don't know, as far as my thinking, it doesn't affect me, but I still needed to hear that history. I still needed to know what happened. And so I just think we still got to hear the history, and then we have to see how does it affect us. And our kids, when our kids see it, I don't think that it affects them emotionally like we think it does. So that's just my thought on it.
That's a good thought. In summary, she was saying that it's important to have the context of that history and to know the history. And it does sometimes create some anger or some emotions that may be overwhelming. And you still identify and find ways to be objective and intentional about what you do.
Yeah.
Thank
you for clearing it.
I'm just interpreting. I'm
I appreciate
interpreting,
you cutting it.
right? All right, we got another comment right here.
No, you did it. You did it. You did what you did. And I would just say that what I've learned over the years in watching those types of shows is that who is the audience really for? And I don't feel that it's really for us. I think it's a lot of gratuitous violence that makes others feel okay and superior, but it's not us, because we really told the story, it would go more in depth. And the most in depth any of those stories I've ever gone was Alex Haley's roots, his original roots. Otherwise, it's a lot of gratuitous violence as they're shown, and I really respected the director who stated she would not do that for Emmett Till. We knew what happened to him, but she went to his mother's story and how his mother championed a movement behind her child's violent death.
No, y'all stand up for those.
Yeah.
And so in poetry spoken word, we snap and we clap just to recognize that. And just to summarize what you said is that the story, it makes a difference. It's how it's introduced. So as we have history that exists, or moments that happen, the way we share those stories and share the perspective of what that is can have an impact on how we're able to move with it. What does it mean as it relates to, when you do observe the violence that existed and you do observe the inhumane treatment that existed, how do you reframe that into something that's can guide you, and it's not just angering you and causing you an emotional state. Because if we look at a lot of it, oftentimes we see either an overreaction or an underreaction, right? Somebody responds in one extreme in one way, which doesn't necessarily work, or there's not enough response in another way that doesn't really work. But where you all see from a historical standpoint or within your personal lives where you've been able to make a decision that makes an impact and you can do it sustainably.
I'd like to address something real quick with everybody. He talked about talking about our history and how we need to address that. I think that is very important that we start building our youth up, all right, in terms of our history, okay? We can't start off with the conversation about slavery because that's not what we began as a people, as far as I'm concerned. We got to be able to talk about the Kush Empire with our children. We got to be able to discuss the Bantu people. We have to be able to discuss the ancient Egyptian empire. I'm talking about our greatness. I'm talking about giving our children a little bit of greatness so that when they step outside of these walls, they got something built up inside of them. You understand? Something to help them withstand what the world is going to put them through.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
We know who we are.
We got to know who we are. Our greatness.
We know who we are.
Right? We start off as scientists. We start off as humans. We start off as siblings, as parents, as cousins, as family, which I think is another component of where we have to. I think I'll say it like this. I know there's an opportunity for betterment through and with the family. Allow the social. Wrong says about it. A lot of these nonprofits are doing things that we need. Right? We create a nonprofit based on a deficit that existed within ourselves that we do with other people that we haven't identified the opportunity to do with our family. Right?
Right.
Right? We want to help, and this idea of helping, the perspective of being helped to someone makes them a victim. But also creates dissension because they don't really want your help, they just want your presence. And being present is a significant opportunity, just like this moment right here. Did everything go as planned? Yes, because we are present. We came here. We made a decision. We got here. And now what's grown from what we planted and what we gathered is what we have the opportunity to experience again and again. And so as Black people, as people in America at this time with similar histories, we have the opportunity to do something together. When two gather together, we can do something. And identifying that one thing that we can repeat, even if it's coming together for this one time, I can only imagine the impact that's going to cause the butterfly effect. And the idea of the butterfly effect is that us coming together this day creates something that happens 100 years from now. Right?
Wow.
The impact is that a butterfly flapping its wings in Japan can impact a tsunami in Hawaii. Everything is connected. That is togetherness. And the idea of even Black Wall Street, from a concept, from a history, from a future standpoint as well, is where we get to live with these ideas. If you rely on anything that you rely on that can't relate to you, you're always going to be fighting for something that you already got. And so yes, we do expect, and there is a portion of where we have to spend time and effort to make sure the government or the organized elected beings give us our share because we do pay taxes, right? By contract, because we pay taxes, we are due something. And at the same time, historically, the data has proven what? The story tells itself. So understanding the story, understanding the data gives us an opportunity to understand how to maneuver with it. There's a separation of church and state. I've done something creepy. I created a religious corporation. There's a separation of church and state. So now when I make my art and I put my history in it, nobody can take something that ain't theirs. No one can re-identify it as something that it's not because we already understand what it is what it is.
Yeah.
So we're not relying on a system that is historically proven to us absolutely what it does absolutely. And so with that, just in conversation, where do y'all see another great opportunity? Or just even for you, what's the one thing that you're doing consistently for yourself with your family to move us forward?
Having Sunday dinner.
Sunday dinner. That's a good point. That's good. That's good. Y'all give up Sunday dinner. In fact, each and every Sunday you can come out here and ask over Sunday dinner. All right, you got another comment right here.
I think the greatest opportunity that we have today through like our social forward is that we live in an opportunity of free media. So like your message that you just said today, you can put that on TikTok, and it might not blow the first day that you put it on TikTok or YouTube Reels, but you can post it every day until eventually snowball effect into a blow up. And so the presence of free media, where you don't have to pay somebody to get your, like you don't gotta pay a radio station to get your word out there. It's like the greatest thing that we got. So you don't gotta self-publish your books, nothing like that. You can easily press record and put out your message.
That's what y'all give it up for that. Y'all give it. Did everybody hear?
Yeah.
My brother.
Yeah.
Free media.
Yeah.
What does it take to create something? What does it require to make something? It's having an idea and making it happen. So what I didn't say on the other side of that is intellectual property. Somebody say intellectual?
Intellectual
Property.
property.
You take your ideas, you affix it to a medium, you send it to the government, and it becomes certified. It becomes a note. You can add value to the note and trade it amongst the people.
Right.
Intellectual property. If you notice, this restaurant is cool because of what? A black person's idea.
Yeah.
You know how many black ideas run the world?
Yeah.
You know how many black ideas make money? The cash crop of America is black creativity. The cash crop of the world is black culture, black SEMA, black lives. And we give it away
Yeah.
with no tariff. Everybody else makes money on ideas.
How do we change that?
We shift it by one, having a conversation. The next one is before you share it to the world, you got to make sure it's safe, which means you got to protect it. One option is going through intellectual property development and understanding how to work it through there. The other part is understanding distribution, which is from one standpoint is media. I have an acronym for media. Messages, express, deliberately, intended action. So what is the intention and the objective of your idea and how does it make an impact? That's the same thing you do in business. The same thing you do at work. Give me some feedback. We got some.
So I agree with you. I think that what we fail to do as black people, though, is realize that we're in a system of white supremacy, so we have to be a part of that system to a certain extent. So America was built on capitalism, and so we can have gatherings, we can come out with anything that anybody said, but if we don't figure out how to make money to engineer our own systems and have our own ecosystem, our own economy, we won't ever get to where we need to be. And so the black dollar the American black dollar is the fourth strongest amount of money in the world. So if we put all of our money together, our GDP would be higher than every country except for the United States, China, and India. That says a lot. But we're so based upon consumerism as opposed to investment. And that's where our biggest issue is. And so we can't necessarily make the mark that we need to make if we don't own our own hospitals, own our own schools, have our own tech. Now, all these things, we get bribed all the time by something called a job. And we get excited because Microsoft or Toyota or whatever company is going to pay us a nice salary, but everything we do is for them. When we walk away, everything that we've done belongs to them, and our money ends.
When you get a chance, I got a question for you. How do we keep those black hospitals? How do we keep those black businesses? What I learned when we went up to Tulsa is that we can build up all of those things, but then out of nowhere, somebody will come up, tear it down, burn it down, kill everybody dead. And then what? How do we build and hold on?
So you know what I learned? I learned a lot from watching ants. You ever see an ant pile? Yeah. when it rains, the empire washes completely away. 2 days later, that empire is rebuilt. What white people have done to us is, yes, they went through Tulsa and they decimated. And what we did was said we won't rebuild. And it's the same way that Trump just went over there and bombed Iran, and what the Prime Minister said the very next day, we're going to rebuild it again. And so we have to have the resiliency within ourselves that if they beat me, somebody else is going to come up behind them. If they tear down this building, somebody else is going to rebuild it. We just have to have that resiliency at this point. But there are legal avenues and channels in place, and the legal system doesn't work for us. But at the same time, we still have to have that economic undergirding to be able to do things that we can.
Makes sense. Basically, what he was saying is just the idea, if I can summarize, to make investments into the financial infrastructure and the systems of America, essentially, and using economics and using money as the means of making that movement. The question was, we do that, and we've done that historically, but at the end, at the same time, something has been torn down, taken away, or taken from, and the response to that was that we do it again. We do it better. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I'm gonna add one more thing to it too. What's also different today than it was back then is publicly traded companies, right? So if they come and they tear me down, right? They can't take my income away, because in order to take my income away, you got to tear Microsoft down. You got to tear ExxonMobil down. You got to tear Nvidia down. All these companies that I'm invested in that pay me because I'm invested in them. And so, like, the way the white economy works is they're hedged against all these other companies. So when you see this one company go bankrupt, they're hedged with so many other investments that all they simply do is file for bankruptcy. They go right across the street, reopen the business, and they still got millions of dollars in startup funds because of how they're hedged against other companies. We don't do that. We work in these individual silos, and so when one of our businesses fails, it goes away completely.
Great perspective. Y'all give it a perspective. And just similar to what you're saying is that there are other ways to do that from a standpoint of you hedge your hedge funds.
Yeah. Collective economics.
Collective economics. And New Jobbers. It's almost too big to fail. You remember that? When the government bailed out the car company. It was like, okay, this is so big, it can't fail. We're going to give it the assets that we need, which essentially is a form of what happened with slavery. All right, we're going to take away this workforce, but then these farmers are going to fail, and these businesses are going to fail, because in any business, labor is your biggest expense. So we're going to fund them. We're going to give them some advantages to make sure they don't fail, because we've got so much investment into it.
Okay, I'm not going to try to reiterate anything you said, because I agree with a lot that you did say. And collective economy is the way forward. An investment from consumerism to investors, a collective investors. So this forum really excites me. It excites me because there was a section on this survey, so I hope everyone does the survey, that asked us what could we do. Having think tanks and having these conversations around a think tank would be good, because you had a good question, you had a good answer, and when you started with Iran, I was like, because they're isolated from institutionalized racism in their own country, so they can, quote, rebuild. We have to do it a different way, and we have these great black businesses that start up. How do we keep them going? Collective investment. And how do we get to that? That's a great conversation to have, because by one, what you're doing with the history tours, I love it, love it, love it. But how do we keep you going? Yeah. We got to have a collective investment around you, and it doesn't mean just us pumping money in. It's going to where the money is, investing our money versus just spending our money. Let us not spend the money, quote, at Target, right? Mm-hmm. We know what happens when we don't. What if we put our money into the stock of these companies that are doing well collectively and blowing it up? Because now you can't tear us down, because our money is growing and growing. And I'll give an example. One of my brothers put in about 100 grand into the stock market, right? When you get into that space and then the market hits up 10%, your 10% looks a whole lot better than a person who just got $1,000 in there. So how do we get to the critical mass of collectively investing with each other on a different scale though? not, and coming to this space is a wonderful way that we support with our dollars. But how do we support if we put in, if this company was buying stock all around your company, if we were collectively investing? I think there's some conversations that we need to have at the next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think the other part of that is when we look at investment, we have to look at the assets that you have, right? There's a financial asset, there's the treasury, you have your talent as an asset, and you have what we call your financial talent and time.
Yes.
Right? And so looking at those from a three-pronged approach, how do you make investments into people as you have these assets? So how do you spend your time? Where do you spend your money? How do you contribute with your talent? And looking at it from the standpoint of that, you don't have to see, well, I don't have $100,000. I don't have $1, but you have 1 hour. Right? And I think I know that one of the most opportune place to make the investment is with futures. Right? Futures development. Who has the greatest possibility for the future? Who? The future. It's an investment term. Even, and I'm ranting a little bit, y'all go with me. Even this term of like diversity. Like diversity is not the worst thing. And it's made out to be a social construct that has been marginalized as a belief, because the most productive, financially productive portfolios are the most what? Diverse.
Thank you.
Right? So, how do we see diversity? We have to see it beyond the elements of what God has given us. Skin color, gender. Where's the intellectual diversity? Right? Where is the geographical diversity as it relates to how we receive information and perspective from someone? Well, they said something I don't like, so I'm not going to consider it. Right? So the investment even is within ourselves about who we're spending time with, who we're spending money on, and what we're doing with them. You got individuals, you got institutions, you got intellect, and you have So one, what I'm basically saying is everything doesn't have to go toward the institution first. Identify the individual you can do that with. Now that goes to who you have the kids with. Who you building families with. Can we say it?
Amen.
Oh, you say that too. I say it. Right? Because once again, we have to think about our time and how we invested, who we invested, and what we are doing, and what do we expect with those investments. And it starts with relationships. If we can't have, when we don't have a relationship with each other, and not that it's all good and not that it's all bad, because I think there are more variables than good or bad. How do we do something productive together with the reality that we live with? How do you treat your kids' other parents? Right? The classroom is a microcosm of the family. The campus is a microcosm of the community. I spent 6 months on a high school campus. The kids okay. It's the grown folks. When we look at who's in office right now, it ain't the kids. It's the grown folks. Empowerment is significant. Understanding is sustainable. White families ain't teaching empowerment. They take you to the bank. They're creating relationships. You saw the current administration. They hired everybody they've been on. But you scared to invite, come on. You scared to invite somebody to come to be a part of something.
Thank you.
Right? And I'm not saying it is right or wrong. I'm saying this is what happens consistently in history. What opportunity do we have? Who can you put on? Who can you put into a position for success? If you're the only person that can put somebody, if you're the only person, if you're the best for every position, you fooling with the wrong folks. Right? That means you can expand your territory. I'm not saying more is not better, but I went through this phase. I wanted to know more about less people. Ask questions. Find out where their values are. Find out where their morals are. Create some standards that exist within yourself that don't become a wall or a block for someone else. And we do that with relationships. We do that with family. And we do it with good times like we have at ESCO. Y'all have a good time? Say yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, they got a little heavy, didn't it?
Yeah.
It's all right, though.
Hey, look, man, we gotta make all this that we saying cool. And I'm big on marketing. We gotta put it in the face of the youth, which is the future, in a way that's like relatable to them, so that they can catch on and want to do this. We gotta want to do all of the things that we talk about. You look at the adults. You said the grown folks.
Grown folks.
A lot of us stuck in our ways. A lot of grown
Yes,
folks stuck in their
yes.
ways. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, what they talking about? So we gotta start and make it look cool. You know what I'm saying? Do some type of come together with this. How we doing it? Film it up. Put it out on the social medias. You know what I'm saying? Showcase that this is the cool thing to do. It's cool to eat healthy. It's cool to know how to spend your dollars, how to invest your dollars. I'm on the marketing side, man. I'm with y'all, man. Let's go.
Make it cool. But listen, we make everything else cool. For everybody else. We make it, it's a vibe. We got a whole song that became a restaurant, right? Like we think about media, T.I., you may see me in the street with Shawty, you don't know me, right? That's a song. Space. To go to the studio to make a song, how much does it cost at the high end to make one single?
$100 an hour to record it. That's without.
So we say for less than $1,000 you can make a good song. That song made him $4.5 million. So let's look at it from an investment standpoint. It takes you $1,000 to make $4.5 million.
Some people get that down, like.
Right? And what I'm saying is that if you make music and somebody else has lyrics and somebody else has something else, the collaborative effect. That's the collective genre, right? So being collaborative is one level. When you mature, it becomes being cooperative. How can you cooperate with somebody else? It still goes back to those relationships, which goes back to even the parent and the child relationship. How do we have cooperative relationships with the people in our family as we move forward?
Good question. All right.
All right, so any other closing remarks before we close out? Jim, we're going to go with the spoken word. We're going to lighten up some.
Yes. All right.
This one? All right, well, listen, we're going to have a good time. We're going to go into our spoken word. Just a bit DJ Yellow Space is going to be set up. And we're going to keep this party going, all right?
My name is Latane Phillips. I'm the CEO of a nonprofit called Hunger Busters. We're an after-school feeding program, and we call ourselves really more of an education program. We support 11 after-school programs feeding about 3,500 kids a day. And all that sounds good, but that's not really what it's about. If any of you know your history, got some educators in here. We have the same model as the Black Panthers, and so our goal is essentially to build relationships with the Black boys and teach them financial empowerment, not just financial literacy, but empowerment. So at a very young age, we start teaching them how to invest, options trade, we teach them how interest works, how points on a mortgage works, all those things, and now we have young men that are 19, 20 years old making 70, 80, 90, and in some cases 6 figures on Saturday. So if you want to know more about it, visit hungerbusters.org. Check me out. I'll be here all night.
Good one. My name is Derek Walker. This evening I'm the host and the curator and a member of Black Wall Street USA. One of the things I do is support individuals and communities who are looking for a fresh perspective. I do it through one-on-ones, counseling, and professional development. And so in short, I work with the leaders who inspire and instruct other leaders. And I work a lot with churches, actually. I work a lot with school districts. I just completed a project with DeSoto ISD. Working on a plan. I've got something I've done with St. Paul United Methodist Church. And just continue to work and support people who reflect me and my values and what I appreciate. So I appreciate that.
So I was a teacher for a really long time, and then an instructional coach and a principal, and from that I decided that teachers need help. So I help people who want to start schools. I want to start a homeschool micro school program with an organization called the Little Seeds Education. We focus specifically on Montessori and liberatory practices school with white teachers who are fucking up, right? Call me and I can help you help them, okay?